Gentlemen!
Evening all.
I'm here.
Hey,
I'm
Grant.
yellow too. Wow.
You're mellow.
Yellow.
I needed you to bring the energy tonight because this is yet to kick in.
Where's
And
your
Harrison
pet?
always.
Where's your pet?
Sorry, what's that?
Where's your pet?
My pet?
Yeah.
My little chipmunk buddy?
Where is he?
I told you what happened.
He shit all over you.
He shit on my table. He ain't
Well,
coming back. He ain't coming back. I made it known he's not welcome tonight. I said,
for
shoo,
goodness
go
sakes.
away. Shoo.
All right. All right.
I mean, he crapped on my table.
Well, that means it's a personal insult, is what that is.
I hope that's not a vibe for how this show is going to go tonight.
I don't know. Where's Tim Derling at?
He's going to drop in at some point, and he's
Mm-hmm.
going to check out shortly thereafter because he's got a 6-hour drive tomorrow. And he will tell us. He will tell us. He's got some plans tomorrow. You know him. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm here.
Thank you, Grant. It's nice to see
Harrison's
you.
here. So that's all that matters.
Harrison's here. Now, Grant, you know that we like to start every show with a little thing that we call Ask Harrison. Today, we have a question for Harrison because Harrison's birthday actually coincides with mine. It's, well, let's get the question out of the way first.
Going to get my coffee, going to get my coffee, going to get my coffee. Oh, Jeff Taylor, he's always here before me.
Yeah, one step ahead of the game.
Always.
Hey, Harrison, I've been kind of wondering, what do you want for your birthday?
I've been wondering the same thing, too. Not that I got him anything.
Over to you, my friend.
Strictly speaking, my birthday's next week, not on the exact day as LeBrain's, but that's by the by. What do I want? Make it to the next one would be nice. That's a biggie. That's top of the list.
That's morbid.
Also, I don't know. When you have a job, if you want something, you just buy it.
Well,
The
it all
worst answer
depends where you are in your life, too.
I don't know, Grant. I think that's just a bad answer to that question.
I think
Everybody
it might
wants
be.
something for their birthday.
Unless he's got everything he needs.
Well, unless he's got everything he needs.
Mm-hmm.
Needs.
You know what he doesn't have that he needs is one of these sweet Tim's Vinyl Confessions t-shirts.
I don't even have that.
It's a pretty sweet shirt, but he's got some other cool ones that are coming or have come, I should say.
Yeah.
But we'll be flogging shirts all night. Trust me. Grant, I always love having you on, my friend. We just finished a really good show on the Darkness spin-off projects.
Yes, hopefully that'll be up here soon. I'm backlogged, so.
Well, we did it live, if you recall.
Well, that's true.
It's the Helix one. Are we doing Helix live? I can't remember what the deal is with our Helix show that we're doing.
I forgot that we did the Darkness live.
Yeah, we did.
I
It
can't,
was last week.
Mike. I can't keep track of what I'm doing.
That's all right.
I don't know about you. Do you do a show and then you just let it go and then you move on to the next one?
Yes.
So you really don't remember really what you did.
No, actually, I totally rely on Harrison here to, Harrison, have we done this topic before? And he'll be like, yeah, we've done that topic, but we did it in deep cuts instead of hits, and we can do hits this time. That kind of thing.
But I'm so backlogged between this and the Contrarians.
Yeah.
I'm not backlogged on the Contrarians, but on my stuff, I'm
You're a busy guy.
2 weeks behind. So
you're basically, I know that you like to call it building your YouTube empire, so I like to refer to you as Emperor Palpatine.
I'm into it. I'm into it. Let's say that.
Well, you do a good job of it. I had a blast last week, and we're gonna have so much fun doing Helix.
Yeah,
that's special. I think we're talking about a lot of albums that people do not know enough about.
I know we could have had Martin on it, but Martin, he doesn't know enough about it.
Fortunately, I do.
All right, well, good. I knew you were the man, and I do want to apologize. I would have had you on the original show, but I had no idea that you were.
Actually,
I didn't know you were a fan, so I had
Harrison can basically tell you my entire life story because he's read everything I've ever written. But I had a real thrill back in, I think it was 2006. and I just kind of quit my job at the record store, and I was feeling kind of disconnected from music for like the first time in my life in years. I felt disconnected, and I ran into Brent Durner, from former Helix guitarist Brent Durner, at a Helix gig that my wife bought tickets, surprise Christmas present, and there was Brent there, and I introduced myself, and he was so sweet. And I don't remember, this is like pre-Facebook, right? So I he must have given me his email address or something, but we started talking, Brent and I, and we became buddies in a sense. And, I've been to his house a number of times and written a number of things for his band. And, that band just has a huge, huge personal connection with me. I think Harrison might correct me if I'm wrong here, but part 3 of Record Store Tales was Give Me an R, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it's been a while since I've looked that early, so I'm afraid I can neither confirm nor deny.
Damn it, Harrison! I thought you had all of this categorized.
He's my unofficial biographer, and his pal Happiness is in the house tonight, and Tim Derling is also in the house tonight. So let's bring Tim on board.
Tim Derling, there we go.
There we go. How are you tonight, Mr. Derling?
Well, now we can really begin.
Well, I'm glad Tim is here because I actually need him here for a number of things I want to talk about. Just like for fact checking.
Right.
I know you're joking.
Tim Derling's just
I'm wearing his shirt. We're going to be flogging these tonight. And this guy, he still pulls the same stunt. But I love him anyway. It's Tim Derling tonight.
I believe in consistency.
You believe in consistency. Well, sir,
I
do
believe in a thing called love.
Good, because that was a great show. You are a little quiet. If you can find a way to turn up your volume.
See. Okay.
He could just yell at the screen.
Or just yell. Yeah, or just yell. Whatever.
Try it again.
So, Tim.
Yes.
I do need you tonight for a number of things. And I know that you can't
You're not
stay.
Sleeping?
For a number of things that we're going to be talking about here, I need you for fact checking.
Oh, geez.
But I know you're kind of limited in time. Oh, you did. There it is.
Sorry.
That's a beauty. Harrison will remember or will be aware of the original Lego TIE Fighter that came out in the early 2000s, the blue and black version, which I had.
I have the blue and black version of the Interceptor.
I'm embarrassed. I don't have either one of your shirts.
I should just send you one, Grant. We'll talk later. But if you want to buy one, you can go to there.
Well, we could trade.
Type in Tim's Vinyl.
Trade.
Or we could trade.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk offline.
All right.
But basically what I wanted to do, it's kind of a birthday party for me, I guess. Well, you can really tell because this vibe is just so bouncy. I wanted to list off some of my favorite birthday memories in the form of a list. And I am going to need Tim here because Tim and I are basically brothers from another mother. So he will know everything I'm talking about. And
How sad is that, guys? I mean,
I know. Oh, and Rob Daniels is in the house. Thank you, Rob. Really appreciate that. We're going to get this party going now.
We're a few weeks away from a very, very special Tim's Vinyl Confessions that Rob was a guest on too.
Yes, I can't wait for that. Oh, Grant's going to like that one too, I think.
I'm ready.
We have to get Rob on here again.
Grant is going to like that one.
I like it. I already like it.
So I wanted to do something a little different. Like, as you know, we like to do lists, but I couldn't list my 11 favorite birthday presents or something like that. Instead I listed my 11 favorite birthday years by presents.
Oh my God.
If that makes sense.
Wow.
So since we're doing 11, Harrison, you know what that means, don't you?
It means we play the Cinco song.
You just can't play along, can you? Okay, take 2. Harrison. Harrison, you know what this means, right?
Oh, yes, we play HBD Triple M.
It's the Nigel Tufnell Top 10.
Oh.
Nigel Tufnell. The Top 10. Nigel Tufnell. The Top 10. Nigel Tufnell. Oh, this one's gone to 11. Nigel Tufnell. The Top 10. Nigel Tufnell. Nigel.
that be a list right there. And I'd like to start my list in the year 1984. You guys all remember the year 1984. Well, maybe not all you guys.
I remember it well.
I think you guys would remember some albums that maybe didn't come out in 1984, but were still pretty big in 1984.
Yeah.
I got them both for my birthday on cassette that year. 2 albums by the name of Thriller.
Oh,
and Color by Numbers.
Color by Numbers is a classic.
Got them both for my birthday that year. And this is before I discovered the metal. That came later. That came in December of 1984. But I still have these 2 cassettes. Only they don't have the original music on them anymore. I recorded over both of them later on in life. And Tim will appreciate this. 1984. A toy line. A comic series. A cartoon series was launched. You're nodding yes. You know.
Was it originally a Marvel 4-part comic?
Limited series?
Yeah.
Perhaps. And I received for that year an Autobot named Wind Charger and a Decepticon named Skywarp. And I thought I had my Wind Charger here at the cottage, but I cannot find him. I'm thinking Tim might still have his.
No. But...
No. Oh!
Oh, shit. I hope he's okay. Should we send someone over?
No.
Nothing bruised but my pride.
Oh, my God.
Somebody buy a shirt from that man.
Hey, better that happening here.
Oh, he's got his lunchbox. Now, that's an 85 lunchbox. You can tell because it has the Dinobots and the Insecticons and Jetfire on them.
Nerd!
There you go.
Yeah, it's this. I mean, this is not an original, but I did have one like it. No longer has the thermos in it.
Those are rare. Those are scarce.
Yeah. I also had a board game that had this photo on the board game.
I wonder if I don't think our board game did. I think ours had the original 1984 artwork. I'm not sure. There was another Marvel Comics limited series that came out that year. It was a 3-issue limited series. It was an adaptation of a science fiction movie. No? The Last Starfighter.
Oh, no. I know of it. I've never seen. What are we looking at here? What is that thing?
Oh, by the way, the Grant, my buddy just showed up here. He's here, my pet.
Oh, he's good. Well, play nice with him.
I'm gonna play nice with him.
Think about this, Mike. There's not that many people that have tame or chipmunks that are, so tame and pleasant. I know he's shit on you.
Yeah, I was gonna say tame, but
get over that.
Not domesticated.
Right.
So, Grant, have you seen The Last Starfighter?
If I don't think I have.
Really? Harrison, I know you haven't.
Yeah, I don't think so.
See?
My God, I can't believe I'm the only guy here who's seen it. Anyway, it was a big deal that summer. My best buddy, Bob, he bought the 3-issue limited series, fell in love with it. So we went to go see it for his birthday, which falls on the 29th of July. So we kind of always celebrated our birthdays together. And I came home that day and I remember saying to my mom, gosh, Mom, it's better than Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
And is that possible?
It was really good, Grant. It had some of the very first computer generated space battle graphics. I think the movie still holds up. It had a recent Blu-ray reissue.
Is Tim firing up a guitar amp?
I really don't know what he's doing.
Oh, good God.
What is he doing?
We can mute him, right?
Yes, we can. I just don't know what he's doing.
Wow. Wow, this is exciting.
Hang on. We're going to do this.
Oh, geez. It was just an idea while you were talking, Mike. Anybody got any requests?
Yeah, the Paul Stanley guitar solo.
Play Hold Me, Touch Me by Paul Stanley.
Hang on a second. I know what Mike's talking about. He's talking about the solo from the Animalize.
Yes, I am. You know the one.
Just hang on.
That. There it is.
Like another solo too, though.
Now, Tim, you know that this means that there's going to be a shot of this in the next Grab a Stack of Rock intro video, right?
Well, I hope so.
Wow. It sounds like you're playing through a Rockman. What is going on over there?
It's just my Katana amp with a little bit of echo on it.
Okay. Is it a modeling amp?
I mean, it's pretty.
Well, you know what a modeling amp is, right?
Actually, I don't.
I don't
Okay,
either.
it's the one that's got like you can pick different settings, like and you can add different effects to it. It's like a computer within the amplifier.
Right. It's got
Well,
its
this
own
one's just
digital.
got knobs. It does have a lot of settings, but
Okay. If that doesn't say midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
Hey, you know what? I'm just getting great screenshots this whole time. Is all I'm thinking.
I'm throwing shapes. Yeah.
Steve Clark.
Steve Clark, you say?
Now I'm gonna get
Can
copyright
you play
strikes.
Wasted?
Uh-huh.
Wasted. Def Leppard Wasted.
Wasted?
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
Yes, he can, kids.
But can he do Blaze Bailey's Silicon Messiah?
I'm going to
No,
go on record
nobody
to
can.
say that Wasted by Def Leppard is the greatest Def Leppard song, bar none.
It's definitely arguable.
I
that's
really
just-
like. It's not my favorite, but I really like that song.
But they,
I think
it
it's-
never gets any, at least in Ohio, it gets no airplay at all.
No.
Never.
It has been resurrected on a couple of recent Leopard kind of live concert tours and albums, and it's
Yeah.
always, in my opinion, one of the highlights of the set. You know,
But
even
what
today.
But what a great riff.
When
Right?
I saw
Clark and
No.
Willis. Clark and Willis.
when I saw Hysteria Montreal, Def Leppard tribute, I did an interview with them. Saw them a few weeks ago. They did. They didn't do Wasted. They did Rock Brigade, and that was cool.
I mean, anything in that era, you
Yeah.
know, those first
Yeah.
two records.
Yeah.
You know,
All right, I want to move on to my next year, which is 1985. Tim, you might remember a toy line called G.I. Joe.
Rings a bell.
I received two
Little
vehicles that
G.I.
birthday.
Joe.
Yeah, the little,
Yeah,
right,
no,
the
yeah,
little,
little
3 3/4.
G.I. Joe
You're right.
shrunk with the economy.
that's not the real G.I. Joe.
No, it's not.
G.I. Joe used to be tall and threatening like Barbie.
And had fuzzy hair.
Yeah.
But if I told you,
and was one person, not a team, right?
true, that's right.
Right.
It was the
I
beard.
I remember not to. Well, I'm gonna do it. Not to take away from Mike's story here, but I remember being very excited right around that time because I was way into GI Joe. I found in my my parents' in the living room closet there was an old 1975 catalog. It wasn't a Sears catalog. It was Eaton's, which was another big Canadian department store. And they had not only did they have GI Joe toys advertised, it was a Christmas catalog. They also had old Star Trek ones, and I remember wishing I could order out of it. But
Wow. How cool is that?
Back then, they had the best catalogs. Anyway, if I told you, Tim, that year I received a Dragonfly and a Cobra Asp, would you know what I am talking about?
Dragonfly was plane, wasn't it?
It was the helicopter.
Helicopter.
It was the helicopter, and the Asp was this cool. It was this cool gun trailer that you could tow your. You could get your his tank and tow it, and yeah, it was cool.
That was the Asp.
The Asp. Yeah.
'cause I had the Sears exclusive one that was red, not blue.
The Crimson Guard version. Yes.
It wasn't called that, but it was
No,
red.
but that was what it was designed for, to go with those characters.
You know how dumb I was? I had a Crimson Guard character, and I didn't even put two and two together.
I like how you punctuate your own sentences.
I was going to say, well, I'm going to see Steve Vai in August, so I got to go.
Cool.
Maybe, you know what, Tim? How about anytime I ask you a question, maybe you just answer with some cool notes. Well, this one's actually for Harrison. If I told Harrison that also that birthday I received my first Dinobot Slag, would that name mean anything to you?
It does indeed.
Triceratops.
Hmm.
It was an awesome toy. But my next year on the list here is 1987, and this is where I need Tim's help to verify whether I got these in 1987 or not. I know for sure I got Ozzy Osbourne's Randy Rhoads tribute album in 87. I know that for a fact. And I also know for a fact that I got AC/DC's Who Made Who in 87, which was my first time getting Brian Johnson era AC/DC on cassette. But did these come out in 87 or 88?
Well,
I think
no. Come on,
I'm
that's
talking-
way
I'm talking-
earlier.
no.
I'm
for
talking about this
Canadian-
specific cassette
Bohemian
reissue.
Rhapsody, that's a Canadian reissue series. I'm pretty sure it was 87, and except for The Elder, which didn't
Right.
come out until 1989. See, now I have, let me see, my Peter and Ace look like those, but my Paul and Gene are American and look totally different.
So you don't have a Matt set.
No.
Oh, interesting.
What was so
Yeah.
special about those reissues?
I had been unable
Well-
to get the Kiss solo albums up until this point in my life.
Mhm.
And I'd been a Kiss fan for like 3-4 years at this point.
Yeah.
And it was like I was basically just missing these, and that was it. This was the end of my needs. I think I might have needed Rock and Roll Over, but I bought it on my own at some point around then. So I was done.
It was just a series of reissues, Grant. There wasn't anything particularly special about them. It's just they, I guess, probably became more widely available again.
Wow.
So simple fold out.
Well, if
But
that's in what, 87?
87.
So that would be Polygram, right? So those
Yeah.
would be Polygram reissues.
Hologram, Mercury, yeah.
Manufactured.
So that's probably why they reissued everything.
You know, that would have happened in 82, 83. Hang on, guys.
I think.
Well,
for
I don't
these-
remember. Well, I got a copy of the first Kiss album on Polygram that was a reissue, and it doesn't have Kissing Time in it.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it's like 88. Well, it might be 88. I could pull it. It's like 88, 89, somewhere around in there. It's
No.
weird.
These don't have the poster, the Kiss
Right.
posters, but they have the full liner notes, and I think all of them, but Peter's is a full fold out. But Peter's is just
Well,
that. Look
Peter
at that.
always gets ripped off.
Yeah,
So that's
Look at that,
that's
Tim
what mine
set.
look like.
So, Tim, are the ones on the bottom the original ones?
No, the ones on the bottom are U.S. Mercury pressings with the clear
Ace
cassettes.
2.
Okay, so those are even later.
Yeah.
Aces 2 is
Well-
not a fold out.
I'm thinking they came out right around the same time. They're the exact same. It's the same numbering system.
I was really, really proud to have like a match set of these. They look really cool on my shelf. Now, this is going to make me even more nerdy. My mom taught ceramic classes in our basement, and we had a kiln, an actual ceramic kiln in our basement.
That's cool, though.
And I made Kiss bookmarks out of ceramics. Not bookmarks, sorry, bookends. For your shelf. Kiss ones. I painted Kiss logos and Kiss makeup on them, and they held all of my Kiss cassettes in a row on my bedroom shelf. And I am really, really, really proud of that fact.
I want to take back what I said. It does have I'm thinking again. It has Kissing Time on it, but it has a couple of, instead of the studio tracks for a couple of songs, they're live tracks off of Live.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
what I did.
bizarre.
They screwed up when they pulled it and pressed it.
I know the story behind that partially.
Okay, that's what I've got then.
Because I saw an episode of Two Sides of the Coin where they talked to Robert Conte, who
he'd
was
know.
the supervising guy that took care of the 97 remasters.
Yep.
And the reason that there's now the only one I knew of is a mid 80s reissue that's got the live version of Nothing to Lose.
Well, maybe that's it. It's something.
So his story behind it is that when they were looking at the master reels in the Polygram vaults, there was a master reel for the first Kiss album that said, "Do not use." Someone had spliced a live version of Nothing to Lose onto the master reel. He says, "Do not use." Some asshole thought they'd be funny. And, because as Kiss fans love to speculate, right? And one of the speculations was, well, because they didn't want to pay the royalties to the guy that played the piano on the original. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. It's just somebody, and it is funny when you think about it. Because maybe it was somebody's last day on the job, and they're like,
just screwing with everybody.
"Bye, see you later."
If you guys ever go on like the Steve Hoffman site and you ever see Steve when he was remastering a lot of stuff back in the day, he'd go through the vaults, okay? And if he found the master tape or what he thought was the master tape, usually they would say do not use because it's not the LP master, it's not the cassette master, it's just the real masters. So, whoever pulled that, Bill Conti or whatever, he probably thought, well, that probably really might be the real master tape. And, well, it wasn't. But there is a story you guys might like. Steve Hoffman said he was looking for the master tapes for the Doors' first album. And he was going through the Electra Vault or whatever. And there was these guys in the lunchroom. And there were tapes stacked up. He found the first Doors album, the Masters. People were using it to hold up their pizza box in this lunchroom or something. That's how unorganized they were. The real master tapes.
That's so bizarre.
The first Doors album.
That's so bizarre and like so freaking valuable. Like,
but whatever, they're just whoever. Well, it's just tapes.
I guess to somebody else, the pizza was more valuable. Tim does not know why he's crunching. I'm just going to continue on as if he was not.
That's because we're on StreamYard, and Tim never has good luck with StreamYard.
He doesn't. He never does.
The same thing happened on one of our April Wine panels, guys.
We used to do April Wine live and StreamYard, but then it would never work, so we bagged it and we just recorded on Zoom.
I'm gonna seriously, when you guys are talking, I'm probably bugging everybody. It's me. I don't know why, but it's me.
I don't get it. I don't know why it doesn't work.
It's only on StreamYard. That's why I had to hate on for StreamYard. Let me sign out and sign back in. Let's see.
Okay.
I don't know why that would matter.
Yeah, do a reboot.
Okay, so I'm going to continue on in 1988. Harrison, I received on cassette Iron Maiden, that birthday, playing it here at this cottage that summer. What is that? 35 years ago? 35 years ago this weekend.
Oh my God!
Like
you're making me
hearing Iron Maiden in its entirety for the first time. Put yourself in that position. But I received another cassette. I'm going to let you try to guess. 1988, summer 1988. One of my favorite bands.
Is it Mindcrime?
No, I got that later on of my own volition. This was a gift, and it was one of
Queensryche.
It's not Queensryche.
Am I close?
You're in the right. I mean, it's heavy metal.
88.
If it was a big release, big release. One of my favorite bands, summer '88.
Guns N' Roses don't count as metal, do they?
No. Information Society. Rob Daniels. No.
Information Society. Is that what it was?
Harrison, I'm disappointed. It's one of my very, very top 5 bands. Came out with a new album in 1988.
88.
Heavy metal. That's what you want.
Well, I'm assuming it's not Seven Son.
I just gave you a clue.
Because you would have just said it along
the...
Heavy metal. That's what you want.
Oh, God, no.
Ram it down. Judas Priest.
Oh, that wasn't supposed to be. That's not a very good record, though, is it?
No, it's not, but it was a big deal. Look, he got it in a second.
Wow.
Harrison is.
I would never have known that.
That's funny. That's probably true. Harrison, I'm disappointed in you. I'm going to bring Kim back.
Ram it down.
Ram it down, man. Like,
yes. Ram It Down is not a great album.
It doesn't matter.
Hey, Snap Crackle
Did I
Pop.
know
says-
that when I got it for my birthday? It was a big deal. No snap, crackle, popping.
Ram It Down should have been a single,
And the
So-
next,
not
was
an
so good.
album.
and another album that I got for my birthday that year that Tim will know by this clue was a new release in '88, summer '88, and featured Lee Aaron on backing vocals.
Miles Goodwin's album.
No, oh my God, Scorpions,
You know-
Savage Amusements.
Mike, it
Not a-
all comes
not a-
back to
not a
April
Scorpions
Wine on
guy.
this bottom row.
You sorry, you were expecting what?
Me? What?
Sorry, I didn't catch you, Grant. I didn't hear you.
No, it all comes back to April Wine.
Oh,
Yeah, because Lee Aaron sang a duet with Miles Goodwin on his solo album in '88,
Yeah.
what?
which is not a very good album, but it came
That
out in '88.
explains your guess. But she also sang on "The Rhythm of Love" by the Scorpions
Oh,
on Savage Amusement, and I thought that, man, I'm just
I'm not a Scorpions guy. I don't.
okay. I got one
Oh.
more
I know
for
the
'88.
song. I know that song, but
I'm hoping somebody's going to get this last one. I saw a movie. My
Okay.
parents took me out to see a movie,
All right.
1988, a comedy. Rob Daniels will know this because we did a show together on Visions and Sound for this movie soundtrack. Movie soundtrack had some big bands on there, including a little Van Halen song, "Hello, Baby."
I know what you mean.
Mhm.
The movie was
Baseballs.
Baseballs. Saw it for my birthday that year and thought it was the fucking funniest movie
The
I'd ever seen.
The alien version. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
with John Hurt. Like,
Yes.
brilliant. That is John Hurt, right?
I remember. I'll tell you. It's funny. I remember seeing that
Oh.
on.
Oh, wait. I might have screwed up the year here, but
Well,
either way, I saw it that summer. Whatever
I
birthday.
remember
it was.
seeing it in '88 too, because now this makes more sense because it was on TV. It was
Okay,
on TV. My family and I had. This is really weird timing. My family and I were on summer vacation. I was talking to Mike about this earlier. We were in Gorham, New Hampshire. We went to a place called Santa's Village, which was a big tourist trap. We climbed Mount Washington, and in the hotel that movie happened to be on TV, so that we watched that. And I say it's interesting timing because tomorrow I'm also going to be crossing the border going to New
Right.
Hampshire. We can.
Right.
But
Let's plug that right now. Let's talk
Well,
about that because we mentioned it earlier.
listen, I'm so excited about this. It's Bret Michaels' Party Gras, which is this package tour he's put together. But I'm most excited. Now I've seen Bret solo and I've seen him with Poison. I know that's going to be fun. I am most excited to see Night Ranger. I have never seen Night Ranger in concert. They never come this way, ever. They've literally toured Canada twice by all of my research, once in '83 and once in '84, and that's it. They're one of those American bands that can't find the border.
Well, you said what? 84. Wait a minute. 83 and
They
84.
played Vancouver in 1983. Now, that may or may not have been opening for Kiss. I don't know. That would have been cool
Ooh.
on the Creatures tour. And
Yeah.
they played, I think, Ottawa, somewhere in Ontario in 1984. And based on my research, they've never played Canada since.
Well, think about it. After 84, 80, much after that, they weren't really doing a whole lot.
That's right. Yeah.
They had
Yeah,
their
but- okay,
moment,
hold-
but
hold-
they didn't
hold
have
up.
enough backing to go clear to
Hold-
Canada or anything.
Hold up,
They're gonna-
hold up. They had 6 top 40 singles.
Oh,
I know,
So,
but
so 1985 was a big year for them in the States. They had 7 Wishes. They had Sentimental Street, which was a top 10 single.
it's a great
They-
song.
Fantastic. 2 other top 10s. They're top 20s. They had 4 in the Morning and they had Goodbye. And they even
Yeah,
had
those-
Big Life in 87, which went gold. So they had a pretty good run, but they are one of those, they're kind of like 38 Special, or they're like the strictly American bands, right? But I've been a fan since the mid 80s, right? I've always liked that band and I've never gotten to see them. So I'm pumped. It's not going to be a full headline show, but it doesn't matter. And in recent clips, I've seen Jack Blades, Kelly Kagi. They're still in the band. They still sing really well. Brad Gillis is still in the band. So it's 3/5 of the classic lineup.
and the keyboard
the
player's
last-
been there for a significant amount of time now, over a decade.
Yeah. Kerry Kelly, who's played with a bunch of people. Eric Levy is on keyboards. He's been there since 2011. It's a solid lineup.
Yep.
And so it's also so Brett's the headliner. Night Ranger Steve O'Jerry.
Yes.
Who's in Journey from 98 to 2006, 2007.
Two solid studio albums and one EP.
Yeah.
Not insignificant.
And a great soundtrack song.
Yes.
From
Remember
Armageddon.
Me from Armageddon.
Co-written.
No, Secret
by
of My
Jack Blade.
Success, right?
Co-written by Jack Blades. Yes.
Co-written by Jack Blades. So was Higher Place. Jack
Secrets
Blades
of their
toured a lot with
success.
him in that period. Yeah. And a version of Jefferson Starship. It's not the Mickey Thomas version. It's the other one.
Yeah.
And Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray. What are you going to do?
Well, that should be all right.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be songs everybody knows. But like I said, I'm most excited to see Night Ranger because I never thought that's one of those bands like I'm going to say like Y&T that I never thought I'd ever see in concert.
And tell us again how long you're driving to get there.
It's going to be about a 6-hour drive to Guilford, New Hampshire from where I'm at.
Where are you at, Tim? I guess I don't know where you're.
So I am on the east coast of Canada. I'm in a little province of New Brunswick in a little village called Canterbury, which is about a half an hour away from the main border.
So where are you at where in conjunction to Toronto?
Very far.
A long way. I'm like
A long way.
So if Toronto, how can I explain it?
How about this?
It's the eastern.
Canada's even wider than the United States. Canada's even wider. Tim's on pretty far to the east coast, and Toronto is like, two-thirds.
Toronto, I can just go up through Ohio and zip over and.
Yeah, so you got to still go through like another 1/3 of Canada to get to Tim from where I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Vancouver, where he was talking about Night Ranger playing earlier.
Yeah,
two-thirds in the opposite direction.
It's the complete other side of the country.
If you think of North America kind of looking like a cone, Canada's wider. So, the distances get to be ridiculous. So this is why Tim and I are definitely brothers from another mother. It didn't happen.
Yeah, the difference with Canada is that it's got the wider geography, but the population is all in like a little ribbon that goes across the country.
Right.
And that's why it's so hard. I think it's one of the reasons why it's so hard for a lot of the Canadian bands like Honeymoon Suite and Coney Hatch and Helix to break America and stay there, and stay popular. That's why so few bands have done it. So I'm going to plug an episode that I did in 2021 with a guy by the name of Frank Lafredo, who owns a club up in Thunder Bay called Crocs. And it turns out Thunder Bay is kind of like the crossroads of Canada. You cannot get from east to west without going through Thunder Bay or traveling through the United States. But if you wanted to stay in Canada, you had to go through Thunder Bay. And as such, it kind of became this stop for every band of a certain level. And so check that out. If anybody who's watching that actually cares, check out an episode that I did with Frank Lafredo of Crocs, and you will learn about some of the difficulties of a band trying to travel across Canada. Especially in the winter.
Especially in the winter.
Well, so the myth is that we're covered in snow all the time, right?
Well, that's 11 months of the year. It's not 12.
Well, so there's 4 seasons in Canada, right, Mike? You know that, right? There's almost winter, still winter, construction.
That's right.
Oh,
or I don't know.
That's when they fix the roads.
Going back to 1984 again. Do you remember a made-for-TV movie called The Canadian Conspiracy?
I do not.
Eugene Levy, John Candy, Dave Thomas. It's a made-for-TV movie about Canada's secret plan to invade the United States using our media and entertainment. People like John Candy were actually deep agents working for Lorne Green.
I thought that was that
Lorne Green.
Canadian
Really?
Bacon. I thought that's what that was.
Sorry, what was that, Tim?
Wasn't there a movie called Canadian Bacon that had a bunch?
No, that's a whole different thing. John Candy was involved with Canadian Bacon, though. I think it was his last movie. Anyway, The Canadian Conspiracy. There was a funny. Basically, it's the idea of a documentary being made by Americans about Canada. So, according to Americans, Canada has 2 seasons: winter and July.
pretty much. Yeah.
That was a long setup to get to that joke.
That's
But
only
it's also
Newfoundland.
funny in this Canadian conspiracy movie, because it's supposed to be made by Americans. They pronounce like a lot of things wrong on purpose. Like Ottawa is always pronounced Ottawa. Things like that. I highly recommend the movie.
I don't know who's pronouncing it. Is it? What is it? How's it pronounced?
Ottawa.
And
Yeah,
nobody
that's how I
actually
pronounce
pronounces it
Ottawa.
Ottawa. Nobody actually does, but it's kind of like a stereotype that you hear up in Canada here is, oh, Americans, they don't know how to say our country's, our city's names. Americans, they don't know anything about Canada.
It's Quebec that we mispronounce.
I pronounce Quebec
Well, that would be
wrong.
like
No,
that
we
would
say
be like if we
Quebec,
pronounced
not
Arkansas, Arkansas.
Oh my God. And I got in so much shit from this gentleman right here, not that many years ago, for not knowing that Kansas City was in Missouri. I said it was in Kansas, and he's like, it's in Missouri. And I'm like,
you gotta watch that.
oh shit.
There was another thing. I mean, people up here, we know who Rick Mercer is.
Rick Mercer report.
Yeah, and this hour is 22 minutes, and I'm pretty sure that he once did a segment where he went in. He was in the States, and he would say, "Hey, we'd like you to something about congratulating Canadians on like 100 miles of paved road or
Yes.
something like that." And people are like, "Right on, Canada!" Like,
Way to go.
hey, listen,
Anyway.
you know something? It's funny. I like the fact that I grew up on the border because like I've said many times, I listened to just as much American radio as I did Canadian radio. And as a matter of fact, Mike and I have talked about this. Back to the Night Ranger thing. He wasn't very familiar with them. I'm like, really? But then I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, it's only on the American stations that played them a lot.
I also, being where I am, I'm close to Buffalo, and we get a lot of American TV out of Buffalo. And I hear words like Tonawanda a lot, and I remember growing up, we had all of these Buffalo TV stations, and it was so strange because it was obviously nothing near me, but yet it was on TV all the freaking time as if it was,
There's two things I know about Buffalo. I know about Ladies' Night in Buffalo.
Right.
And I know
And a
that,
certain band that came from Buffalo.
well, that too, but also I know that Kim Mitchell and Max Webster had quite a following in Buffalo.
That's common knowledge.
Common knowledge. That's one of the few places that Kim Mitchell can go in the States and actually draw a decent crowd.
I don't know if it was you, it was somebody, but someone mentioned that Kim Mitchell and Max Webster had a big following in Cleveland. Is that true?
That's probably true.
That wouldn't surprise me, given Cleveland is where WMMS was. Don't know. I don't think that was me, but
There's
I
a
don't
new
know.
book that just
Who knows
came
what
out.
conversation it was?
if
God.
it's a good thing, I'll take credit for it.
Someone was talking about it, and I think that, oh God! But there's
Maybe
a
it
lot
was
of different bands that kind of took off in Cleveland. Todd Rundgren,
Spinal
big in
Tap.
Cleveland. God, who
Spinal
else?
Tap.
What's
I
that?
don't know what I got thinking about that
Spinal
today.
Tap.
About the whole Spinal Tap thing, about how the opening act becoming bigger.
Yeah.
And something about when they opened for us, they were so horrible that the
Duke
crowd was
Fame.
still booing when we got on stage.
Wasn't that Duke Fame as played by Paul Shortino
Yeah,
of Rough
played by
Cut?
Paul Shortino of Rough Cut. Yep.
Yeah.
The guy that everybody for years was like, who is that guy singing the blistering lines on hearing aid stars? Nobody knew who it was. The guy with the hat.
Oh yeah, you couldn't see his face. Yeah. Hey Tim,
Hey,
you just mentioned a certain Canadian artist from Sarnia, Ontario, called Kim Mitchell.
oh geez, yeah, like that. That's beauty.
So if I told you in 1989 I received a cassette tape by Kim Mitchell for my birthday, which one would that be?
Oh goodness!
Okay.
1989.
We could stop with the Bob and Doug. Well, I mean, the
Go
current
for a
album
soda. That
would have been
album
Rockland.
with Go for a Soda on it.
No,
No.
that was 84.
Oh shit!
In
I'm way off.
1989, it was
Rockland.
Rockland Wonderland, my friend. And I also received another cassette that was recorded in Vancouver at a studio called Little Mountain Sound, one of the earlier productions by a guy named Bob Rock. What cassette would that have been? Now, there's a few
Blue Murder.
choices. It could be a number if it was 89. It could be a number of them.
God, this is like trivia night.
Blue Murder
Close.
should have been. That's
Badlands.
all I gotta say. Was it
No,
Sonic
Bob
Temple?
Rock didn't produce Badlands. Paul O'Neill produced Badlands.
Was it Sonic Temple? The cult?
It was Sonic Temple. It was Sonic Temple, which I got on cassette.
Oh, the
I
cult.
always found mushy. In my ears. You know, it didn't sound as sharp and crisp as Electric. You know, in my mind,
Who produced
Well,
Electric?
Electric was
Wasn't that
Rick
Bob
Rubin,
Rock
right?
too?
Rick Rubin, I think, produced Electric, didn't
Rick Rubin produced Electric. It's very stripped down, very basic.
I am wrong on every level tonight.
That's okay. I'm going to move on to the year 1990. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the biggest movie star in the world at this point, and he had a new movie out in 1990. What did my parents go take me to see for my first R-rated movie in the summer of 1990?
Well, was it R-rated because somebody had 3 of something?
It wasn't R-rated for that specific reason, but someone did have 3 of something. It was
Okay.
R-rated because Arnold used another person as a human shield against a hail of bullets, and then tossed the corpse down an escalator.
Yeah.
We have an answer. Yes, you got it right. It was Total Fucking Recall, which my mother still probably holds it against me that I made her go take me to see that movie.
Can I ask a silly question?
Yeah.
And it's going to sound real philosophical.
Okay.
Who is happiness?
He's a guy that he goes by the name of Holland McGroin on my comment section on my website.
Oh, he's
And,
Phil's
yes.
brother. He's Phil's brother.
He's Phil's brother. That's right.
Hole in my groin.
Holland, one word, Holen, Magroin, M-A groin.
I thought it was something
I
that we
prefer
all
him
knew.
using the name Happiness.
Just using an alias, that's all. Okay.
Anyway, he is he's going to be debuting as one of the writers of a T-Bone Man spin-off called Noirison. It's going to be based on Harrison, but in a noir setting. Very excited about that.
Oh, so it'll look like Sin City? Is that...
I got to
look-
tell you, Harrison's already done a number of the Lego art for it in black and white, and they look really cool. Really cool. He's using lighting, and I've said enough.
That's
Summer of
cool.
1991, my best friend Bob gave me an album on CD that was a brand new release by rock and roll, hard rock veterans. Brand new album in 91.
91.
I believe it went to number 1 that summer. Went to number
Van-
1.
Must have
Van
been
Halen?
pre-Nirvana.
You got it for
What
unlawful
was it?
carnal knowledge. And I received.
My favorite Van Halen album.
Okay, we're not going to talk about this, Tim, because we just won't.
Because you're
No,
wrong.
I
Is
received.
that the one with the train
No,
on it?
I'm
Or-
used to
No,
being
no,
wrong on
it's-
this. Yeah.
No, it's
and I
not.
Grant and I just went into that album in heavy detail last night.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll look for that soon.
Yeah.
Well, look for it like the end of next week because
Okay.
I'm backlogged. So
That's good,
That
though.
summer of 1991, there was a cassette that was jammed in my best friend Bob's tape deck. We played it. It didn't need to come out. Side 1, side 2, everything flowed.
oh yeah, I remember that. Yep. I've never heard that whole record though.
Grant, it's great. It's great. And it's, I mean, it does sound like the times compared to today, but I mean, every
I still
song.
think
every
sonically,
song.
it's great Michael Wagner production. I got to show you something funny. I've shown it on my show before, but I've got to show you guys because I think this is hilarious. So I found this a few years ago at a record expo, and I was excited. And it was only like $40.
Oh, nice.
What's that like
But
a promo? What is
and I
that?
looked at it, and it's like, why is that black and white? It's very thin on the side, and so
What is
I'm
it, a
not sure which one
bootleg?
these came first. So here's the record. The record's real. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, looks like a Canadian label.
A&M.
It's UK.
Oh, okay.
And but what I began to become suspicious, like, oh, it's even got the hype sticker, and guess what? The hype sticker
On the
is
cover?
part of the cardboard, leading me to believe this is a
Ah.
photocopy. The record's real. So then I sent away for another one that was just the record. And here's the funny part: it came and it's still a legitimate record, but it's got a different A&M logo on it.
Totally
Now,
different. Yeah.
So both of these designs were used by A&M at different times. This one was used more in the early 80s.
Yes,
This
that
one
doesn't
was
match.
more towards the end of the 80s.
Yes.
Correct.
So, but I mean,
But still, the one
whatever.
that UK label is still not quite the way the American label looked.
That's right. It's
The fonts are
it's a-
different a little
Yeah.
bit. It's a little bit different, but
it's like when you get UK singles, usually they have the small hole in them. But yeah, no, that's an album I didn't like back then when it was really popular. It wasn't until I saw Extreme play the Freddie Mercury tribute, because I was just getting into Queen at that time.
Yeah.
And that sold me. When they went from one song into another, that medley was so seamless. That was
Into
it.
More Than Words as well, and melding it into
Yeah.
More Than Words.
that was a big hit. No More Than Words.
My mom liked it, except she didn't hear us correctly when we said it was by Extreme. She thought there was a singer named Nick Streen.
Mr. Aerosmith.
Oh, that's a good one. I'll tell that story real quick. Grant, my first year working retail at the record store, 1994, this Scottish gentleman came in, and he asked me if we had any CDs by Mr. Edo Smith. Anyway, 1992, I got my best friend Bob took me out, took me
Oh, God,
downtown.
here we go.
Yeah, he's gonna do
Here
more
we
than
go.
words. Now he's gonna do More Than Words.
No, it's a bass.
Oh,
Does
it's a
that have
bass.
like rubber elastic strings on it?
Very, very thick, very thick,
Wow.
very thick strings.
It's like a bass ukulele, though. Or
It
something.
is. It is. I
Okay.
love it. I picked this up and I'll just doodle.
Oh my God.
All
So,
right.
so I'm going to just say two right away because you're not going to guess them, and then I'm going to make you guess one. But summer of 92, my best friend Bob took me downtown. Kitchener, you basically had to go downtown if you wanted to find good records. Anything else was just mall stuff. You're going to get the same stuff everywhere. I was given, he let me choose two things, and I chose The Cult live at the Lyceum on cassette, which was a live recording from the Dreamtime tour, very early. And I bought Anybody's Listening by Queensryche, the CD single, which had a cover of Scarborough Fair by Simon and Garfunkel. And I remember my mom hearing that and just thinking it was the weirdest thing she'd ever heard, because really, if you compare Queensryche, the gothic, "Oh, you going to Scarborough Fair," it's very different from Simon and Garfunkel.
They should have gotten you, not Todd LaTorre.
They should have gotten me, but that's neither here nor there. I also received a CD, the brand new release from a band that was they were being mislabeled as funk metal at one point. But this was their fourth album, I believe, but only their second with their new lead singer.
Oh,
Grant?
Faith No More.
Yeah, buddy. Angel Dust, which to me is a solid 5 out of 5 album. I fell in love with it on probably second or third listen. Each song kind of hit me at different times throughout the evolution of listening to the album. You know how that goes. Sometimes you'll listen to an album and there'll be 2 or 3 songs that hit you within the first couple listens, and then you go deeper. You listen 5, 6, 7 times, and a couple more songs jump out at you. And by the time you've played the album 20 times, your favorite songs are completely different from the favorite songs that you had when you first listened to it. I love that.
Have you ever listened to any Mr. Bungle?
Grant, I was listening to Mr. Bungle earlier this afternoon. I was listening to Travolta from the first album.
Now, that's an acquired taste.
It is, and I would love to talk to you about that on a show one day. In fact, that's a subject I would love to
do
talk
that.
about.
I've got the first 2 records.
I've got all 4. I've got all 4 because they just did a newer one in 2020.
All right, let's get it on the calendar.
Let's do it. 1993, the summer of live albums. Okay, everybody had a live album out in 1993, but this one was unique because of the packaging.
Yeah,
if you're quick,
looked like a speaker.
Boom! Live and Loud, Ozzy Osbourne, which I was underwhelmed by as a listener.
Yeah.
I Randy Rhoads Tribute. Give me that album, which, by the way, I got for my birthday in 1987. Did I mention that? Yes, I did.
You did.
I also got this crazy shirt, and I was hoping my mom would find a picture of it. had a giant Mr. Spock on it, like giant. Filled my whole chest, and I wore that with pride in 93. Moving on to 94, there was a new release by a veteran rocker. It was his first album since 1991. There was a, you know it without me going any further?
Go with it. There was a comic book that went with it.
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a comic book?
Great album.
Come on, Harrison. You say it. You say it, Harrison. 1994.
The Last Temptation. Alice
Bye.
Cooper.
Yeah, there you go. I received that for my
We talked
birthday
about that
that
last
year.
week.
Was blown away.
Yeah,
What a great album.
Totally came and went without any fanfare.
Yeah, yeah.
But a
The
great
video
album.
was never played.
No, also featuring the co-writing talents of one Jack Blades.
Oh, I was going to say Chris Cornell, but which
That
song
too.
did Jack Blades? Which one was
It's
Jack
me,
Blades on?
Jack Blades and Tommy Shaw co-wrote.
Oh.
It's Me
I don't even
and,
know that. I've
You're
never
My
even
Temptation.
seen that before.
This is a great album, Grant.
Never seen
It's
it
just
before. in
stripped
my
back.
life.
It's
It was my number 5 Alice Cooper album.
it's
Now,
a
was
I've
great
it-
never
album.
seen it.
Discussion last
Never
week.
seen it before.
Now, was it Neil
That was
Gaiman? Was
Yeah,
it Neil
it
Gaiman
was
who did
his-
the comic book?
Yes, it was his last for Sony.
It's a great album. I also received another Alice Cooper that birthday called Nobody Likes Me.
Oh,
It's
geez.
known by a whole lot of different names, but Tim is going to show us a
So he's
version of
gonna
it
pull
right
it.
One of the many versions. This particular one has Kane Roberts on the cover.
now. There you go.
And I've never
It's that-
seen that either. That
No,
must
it's
have been that
god-
era.
I bet you've seen a version of it, Grant. It's
You
that
have.
god awful 1969 Toronto performance where,
Wow.
yeah. You wouldn't-
There was an era where a lot of his stuff just kind of,
This
Went
is
under the
this is
radar.
very early Alice Cooper. This is
Yeah,
before.
it's not even official. It's not official at all. It's just it's
oh,
been-
it's a boot.
Yeah, there's
they
6
keep
tracks.
reissuing it under different. I don't know how many different. Sometimes it's called science fiction. Sometimes it's called.
Snorting
Yeah.
Anthrax is another title
Yeah.
that I used to own it under. You will find very commonly there's like a red border cover with Alice in makeup, but it's got nothing to do. Any of the album covers have nothing to do with the actual music inside, which is all very early Alice Cooper group, pre Bob Ezrin, pre Warner.
Oh, that's
It's
fine.
all from like it might even be wouldn't be pre Frank Zappa, would it? It would be
No,
right during
be-
the
no, but
Frank
it's
Zappa
very
era.
early. It's very early. It's live.
Yeah.
It's not recorded very well. Two of
And
the
they do-
songs aren't even.
they do a lot
Alice.
of,
Two
like-
of the songs are Ronnie Hawkins. They're not even.
That's right. That's right.
So
Ronnie
Oh,
Hawkins.
Ronnie Hawkins. Okay.
Rompin'
since-
Ronnie Hawkins.
Yeah, and since we just discussed this, I'm sure there's been 10 more versions of that come out. But as an Alice fan, I think you kind of have to have at least one in your collection.
I do. I
so,
never play it.
guys. I have got to say
You got to
goodnight,
skedaddle.
but,
Thank you, Tim.
But this has been great. Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you.
Grant,
And
Harrison,
Harrison.
always good to see you guys. And
Always fun.
I will be giving a full report on how tomorrow night's concert goes.
I expect it.
We need
All
a
right.
full documentation.
Probably
All right, you
did
take
us
care,
about a
buddy.
week to get it all together. But anyway, see you guys later. Have a great night.
Take care, man.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to wrap up my list. This is the very last one.
Okay.
Would you, Aaron?
I'm going to skip ahead to the year 1999. Band called Max Webster, Canadian legendary institution.
Now we're talking.
I was given their entire studio album discography on CD for that birthday, 1999, by my friends Tom and Trevor. And it was kind of like to be given all that music in one swallow, so to speak. That's a lot of music to digest. And it took time, but I took the time. And now today, Max Webster are indeed one of my favorite bands. And that is my list.
Well, I must say, those Anthem, were the CDs you received, were those the ones that say Max Webster featuring Kim Mitchell? On
Yes,
the
they
front,
were.
Which I hate that.
Yes, they were.
It's so stupid, but those Anthem CDs sound great.
They did.
They sound great.
There was
'Cause a lot of those
rock
were like flat masters, like
Yeah.
the original Rush CDs that are on Anthem.
Yeah.
A lot of those weren't futzed with. They're not brick walled. They're not EQ'd out the ass. A lot of that stuff just sounded great.
It did.
And those Kim Mitchell original ones, sound really good. I'll just say that.
Well, my buddy Aaron, who I expect to be joining us in about 10 minutes time, he only buys original pressing CDs for that reason.
Oh,
He doesn't
good.
like the brick walling. He wants, like you
That
say,
sounds like a whole other show.
you know, it is a whole other show, and I would like to do that one day. Thanks for the idea. But yeah, they were the originals. Now, I have since got a Rock Candy reissue of the debut with extensive liner notes.
Those are supposed to be okay, I think.
They're supposed to be okay, and I also got the box set, the recent.
I
reissue.
think those are mastered by Andy Pierce.
I think
Don't
so.
quote me. You don't want the John Astley mastered stuff because a lot of that stuff's kind of brick walled.
Yeah.
But Andy Pierce, though, I think he does some stuff for Esoteric. All the Esoteric stuff sounds great.
Look at this. Speak of the devil.
And but Andy Pierce as a mastering engineer is great. So if you get Rock Candy stuff with Andy Pierce mastering, it's going to sound great. It's not going to be brick walled. It's just going to be just a wonderful experience. I don't know.
Aaron, I would like to introduce you to Mr. Grant Arthur of Grant's Rock Warehouse. Grant, I'd like to
Aaron,
introduce
nice
you
to
to my
see
buddy
you.
Aaron here, who I met 27 years ago.
We're old, Mike.
27 years ago,
You guys are
via
just
working at that
babies.
record store.
Just babies.
Did you work at the record store too?
I did not. I was a very, very regular customer.
And I think possibly the only customer that I'm still in touch with today. So that's a lasting relationship. He used to tell me his philosophy in life, which was make friends with your local record store guy.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, definitely. There could be a lot of perks.
There were, but I got perks. The guy would show up and he'd be like, "Hey, Mike, I just picked you up a Black Crowes box set from Toronto." Like, I'm not lying. So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, from my end, it was always the conversation because I'm like, okay, I'm really into this band. And then it would be like, oh, well, if you like them, you might like this, you know, that kind of thing. So, but also, I mean, like good people.
Right.
Well,
How
listen,
you doing,
Aaron,
Harrison?
Well, thank you.
Good.
I feel so bad because I'm about to interrupt Harrison. I was going to say to you guys, we've been on an hour. I just want to take a quick break and run you a slideshow.
Oh my.
This is from, well, you'll see. But we'll be back in a minute. I want to talk more to Harrison, obviously, and talk to Aaron a bit. But I want to show you this slideshow. This features lead vocals by Uncle Meat, and it has some photos that my mom recently dug up out of our basement. So enjoy this birthday slideshow.
It's your day of birthday that you were born. One more trip around the sun for you. Candles blown, now you make a wish. Time to eat cake and maybe hit a pinata. Hatch day, another year's passed. 1 year older than the day you were before. Let's see what this day has in store for the birthday boy. Or maybe you were a birthday girl, 1 year older. Just another cake at the can. Joyeux anniversaire. Buon compleanno. Tanjobi omedato. Alles Gute zum Geburtstag, Juni Shung Ju Kwai Lu.
Thanks, Uncle Meat, for that awesome song. Now we're just going to take a quick look at some pictures here. I am guessing that this is 1979. That's my cousin Jeffrey behind me. I'm holding his Batmobile. We celebrated our birthdays around the same time because his was in June and he lived in Alberta, so he would fly in. We'd all celebrate together. That's his Batmobile. That's my yellow bulldozer. I can see a Star Wars coloring book, but I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm too enthused about whatever that is that I'm holding. But behind me, look! Do you recognize those two statues? It's the Don Quixote statues that I burned last summer that are apparently worth oodles of money that my mom told me to burn. And that's our stereo. This picture is from 1993. It's my 21st birthday. And that's Peter Cavan and Tim Soley with his arm around my sister. Even though Tim Soley's girlfriend Lisa was with us that day, he had his arm around my sister. He had a crush on her. That's my birthday.
There you go. That's all the photos.
And here he is today.
Exactly the same.
Exactly
the same. Those are all
Preserved.
the photos we could find. As weird as that is, you think you take pictures at birthday parties, but no, apparently we didn't do that.
Too busy having fun.
Too busy having fun. Now, Harrison, I do want to talk to you because you've been patiently sitting there stoically as always. Now, you evaded the question of what you want for your birthday earlier. Hey, Jen. You evaded that question of what you want for your birthday, but do you have any special memories of favorite birthday gifts like the list that I just gave you?
Good question. I'm going to go with some cakes first. Probably the earliest cake I remember is this big like Volkswagen Beetle that my mother made. A whole cake of. I know we have photos of it. I'm just trying to find where they are.
Are you kidding me?
I think
No.
I know what you're talking about. I think there was like a mold I don't remember. I don't know. Or did she make it like from scratch?
I think it was from scratch. I think.
Oh, I'll be darned.
Wow.
Yeah, by all means, if you can find those photos, share them. So your mom was a bit of a cake artist.
Definitely. I've got quite a few iconic ones from through the years.
Cool.
There was one of like a side profile of a T-Rex. That one I remember. The tongue was made out of jam, but I hated jam, so I wanted the head, but at the same time it had the jam in it.
That's cool.
There was a pirate ship. There was a train. There was my brother got a castle. I didn't get that one. And the best one has to be. Do you know what a marble cake is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They like came in these rectangular prisms or like trapezoidal prisms covered in chocolate on the outside, and inside was the cake. Well, one year, what my mother did, probably about 07, 08 maybe-ish. So if you imagine like this bottom layer of just red and orange sprinkles, and then you cut up this marble cake, put it in the sprinkles, and then you get action figures of Obi-Wan and Anakin and put them on there.
Oh, you told me about that once.
Awesome.
Did I?
Yeah,
I've got photos of that.
Either that or I'm having deja vu again, which honestly, you take your pick. I'm gonna quiz you two guys. Aaron already knows the answer. My last year's birthday, Aaron gave me an extremely thoughtful gift. I turned 50, and Aaron wanted to give me an album that had also turned 50 last year. So he did. A 1972 release, but brand new reissue. And I think it was a half-speed master, if I'm not mistaken. It was something funky. Can you guys guess the 1972 album that he gave me for my 50th?
1972 album for your 50th.
And it was a big reissue with, like I said, it was half-speed remastering or something like that.
1972.
Something by Zeppelin, maybe?
Not if it's a half-speed
right country,
remaster.
right country. And it's something that I think everybody deserves to own on vinyl because of the packaging. Exceptional top 5 of all time packaging. Top 5 of all time.
But it was a half-speed master?
Pretty sure.
School's Out?
No.
I know that had packaging. But...
Speaking of which, I got to order those off Amazon now that my birthday's passed and I didn't get them.
72.
I feel like I need to give you a clue. I don't want to, but I feel like I need to.
Give us like a obscure clue. Something. Just throw something at us.
It's a quintet. It's a quintet.
Okay, well that's obscure.
It's a wide,
Something by
wide
Queen?
net.
No, they're 4.
No, not a half-speed master though.
The half-speed master might be throwing you off. It was just, I mean, a lot of bands have done that. It's not a big deal, but the big deal was the packaging. This album is known for 2 things. Its packaging and the length of the one and only song on it. One and only song on a full-length album. Packaging. I got to give it to you.
What? Wait a minute. But what year did this reissue? Was it a reissue?
Yeah, it was a 2022 reissue.
2022 reissue.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, of a 1972 classic. That I wouldn't be surprised if Grant actually owns it because it's like, Actually, I just got it on 8-track.
Of course you did.
Marco gave it to me. Marco sent it to me.
Oh, well, I might know what that is. We talked about it. I know what it is, but it's not coming to me.
Packaging. You need the original kind of vinyl experience to take advantage of the packaging.
It's not. 70. It's not Wizard, is it?
No. Has one song split over 2 sides of vinyl. One song only. 44 minutes long. It's a 44-minute long song.
I think there was a Rush album of similar.
Aaron,
but
you
I
didn't have to
don't
know
know if
the
it's
answer.
from the
Come
year.
on.
Aaron gave it to me, so he knows the answer.
Oh, you know the answer. Come on, Harrison.
When you first said
One
it, Mike, I was
track
like, I
over
did?
2 sides in 1972.
There's a great story about this album, Grant. My buddy Uncle Meat, who sang that birthday song, he worked at the same record store chain that I did. And he had kind of a rivalry with this girl named Meredith. And they were closing one night. And the deal was each of them got to pick one song. And Meredith says to Uncle Meat, okay, you go first. You pick your one song that we'll listen to while we close. And then I'll pick. And then, you'll pick. And then I'll pick. Uncle Meat picked a 44-minute song.
Of course he did.
Of course he did.
I have no idea what it is.
Okay, last clue, and then I am telling you. Okay, so I'm opening up my morning newspaper.
As you do. Yeah.
Reading my newspaper. That's the only clue I'm giving you. Newspaper.
Oh, Jethro Tull.
You got it. That was my birthday gift last year. And it was great. I mean, not only did it sound good, not that I'm no audiophile. It just sounded good to me. But the packaging. To have the full newspaper experience was really, really cool. So that was a really cool. And this guy, he doesn't do things by like half measures, Aaron. He likes to come up with themes. He likes to throw his own personality into things. So it's like, of course, he would get me a 50-year-old album for a 50-year-old guy. It just made sense. And, the fact that he picked that, he had no idea that the half-speed mastering meant something to me. He had no idea. He's like, I got you something cool? Cool.
Yeah, didn't they mash that at Abbey Road or something?
Oh, probably. I can't remember. It was on the hype sticker, and I think it did say Abbey Road. I can't remember.
Can I just add to that?
Of course.
When I ordered that, I didn't even know it was a special master or anything. I just thought that's a cool album, and it would be cool to have it as the full thing.
Was it Steven Wilson mastered?
Ooh.
You know what? Give me a second here. I reviewed this thing last year.
You
I mean,
did.
just look it up and
Something
see.
tells me it was.
It would make sense. I mean, was it remixed too or no?
No, there is a remix, but oh no, sorry, I stand corrected. This is remixed. It is.
So
50th
Steven
anniversary
Wilson.
remixed and cut at half speed. Steven Wilson remix. And I can't see anything specifically about Abbey Road in the pictures that Air Studios.
Well, we're kind of close then.
Started with A, good enough for me, and we got it in the right country. But anyway,
I
that
pulled all that out of my ass, so I don't know.
Well, very good. You have a remarkable ass. But that was just one of many things that this guy has done for me over the last, again, 27 years.
Now I did that. Okay. I still feel bad about this, that I've sort of drifted because I've been so busy.
Oh, don't worry.
But I used to be right deep into it. I was Mr. Community guy. And whenever it was anybody's 50th birthday, I would send a record. And I think I've lost track of who and when now.
Oh, nobody minds, Aaron. The world has gone crazy and we're all dealing with crap.
Oh my goodness. I got 2 kids going in 2 directions, and my wife working 2 jobs, and I'm working a job and running the house and 3 different sports. And oh my God.
I remember those days.
Yes.
You don't miss them, do you?
No.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. It just takes over. That's all.
Well, I
don't
couldn't
mind.
do my channel if I was in that mode anymore.
You know, I'm lucky we don't have kids, but with Jen's health and everything, I have a lot to balance myself. It wasn't that many weeks ago, Aaron, you remember, she fell flat on her face.
I do.
And I think I texted you the photos of the bruises afterwards. Well, they got way worse in the days after.
Oh.
And they evolved. You know how bruises, they change color, they change shape, they evolve. At one point, she had like Ronald McDonald triangles under her eyes and a little blue bruise on the tip of her nose, and she had a clown face, is what I'm saying. Oh, poor kid, but she survived. She survived, and she's behind that window listening to the show right now.
She's probably going, oh my God, you're talking about it.
No,
Yeah.
she doesn't mind. She appreciates, as far as she's concerned, raised awareness, and it has. Anytime something happens, somebody in my circle learns something new about epilepsy. So that's always good to know. Now, I did want to play you guys one more video. You guys want to see what I got for my birthday this year, I'm sure.
Of course.
Of course.
Grant might know some of these already because he follows me on Facebook. But Aaron, I don't know if I've. Oh no, I sent you some. Anyway,
I don't have a Facebook.
no, but I texted you some photos. I'm pretty sure. Well,
Well,
you're going
I
to
don't-
see them again now.
I don't hardly ever have my data on. So
Oh, okay.
did I reply?
I think you did. But
Okay.
anyway, it doesn't matter because you're about to see these photos again. Here
He's
you
so
go.
busy, he doesn't know if he's replied. I
He's a
know what
man.
it's like.
I-
Aaron. I understand.
I'll tell you a story about this guy when we're done, Grant.
Oh God.
But here's what I got this year. I did well, by the way.
The worst birthday ever. It's the Amityville Horror House. Opening a gift from my wife. And my wife.
Ooh.
Oh! The Arkells, Blink Once.
We just played this in the car.
There you go. I'm going to learn all of these songs.
Yeah.
And my wife.
Right there in the closet.
This one comes from my mother. Aha! It's me, Mario. Oh! Oh, there's a theme going on today.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Oh, can't wait to hear all these.
I hate those digipack.
That one too.
All right, there's more. There's more. There's more. There's more.
I have a solution for those.
See, see if there's still. No, this one's a different theme. Oh, my god!
Now you're talking.
Sterling.
All the rockers, which is a
Sterling.
classic.
Sterling. There you go.
There you go.
He made me put this on my wish list on Saturday of this week, and now here it is.
mean, it's
This
got
guy,
a
he
couple-
will never stop having an influence on my CD collection.
He got all.
There's a couple of
Arkells
tracks on there you can't get anywhere
And April
else.
Wine. That's April Wine. So finally, we have two gifts here from my wife. Oh! Sean Kelly.
Nice.
Don't call it hair metal. Hey, Sean. I finally got it. There we are.
Nice.
He has been on my show. Okay, and finally, there's one more down here. This is hard to do one-handed. Look at that. You know what? I'm going to guess, just based on that right there, that this is Marillion. Oh, and it is. And it is. And it is. And it is. No, it's the Season's End album from 1989 in deluxe box set form, including the entire album remixed, plus live at the De Milford Hall, 29 May 2022. 2 discs of that and a Blu-ray. Wow. Lots of listening this birthday. I'm not going to get through this very quickly at all. But thank you, everyone. So here's the birthday haul.
Aw.
Recent addition to the wish list, thanks to Tim Derling. Over 60 minutes with April Wine, all the rockers. Remastered Sabotage Dead Winter Dead with 2 acoustic bonus tracks. This one doesn't really count. I bought it myself, but it's Extreme's new album 6 in a jewel case with a 13th bonus track. The newest, no, it's not the newest actually, but Arkells, Blink Once, Arkells Campfire Chords, Marillion Season's End box set, and Don't Call It Hair Metal by Sean Kelly.
And Pinewood Smile by The Darkness on vinyl.
Nice. Hey, Mike, don't you already have Marillion?
Who are you, my dad? Exactly what my dad used to say. Grant, I used to come home from work, and I'd be like, he'd be like, "What's in the bag, son?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's the new Kiss." And he goes, "Kiss? Don't you already have that?"
Yeah. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
In my life.
A common dad joke.
Heck, I think my wife has said that.
Oh, shit.
Oh, don't you already have that?
I'm fortunate my wife does not say things like that to me.
You're lucky.
I promised I would tell you and Aaron a story. We used to, and we need to do it again. We used to go to Toronto at least once a year to do record shopping. That's the only reason, you know?
Yeah.
And again, you have to kind of know Canadian geography. Toronto is, as far as shopping for records go, it's the epicenter.
They release early there, of course, you see.
That was an urban legend that Toronto got everything earlier than anywhere else in Canada. That
Except
the new Metallica will be out in Toronto 2 weeks before it's out in Kitchener for some reason, because we still deliver things by pony.
Moose by Moose.
But this guy right here is so meticulous in his record store shopping. He used to make up something that we called the Order of Battle.
Yes.
And it would be a list of like every record store within a certain perimeter in like order of how we should attack the map, like this. And because of that, we managed to find some good stuff over the years in Toronto. And, if we had unlimited budgets, we could come home with even more. But shopping for records with this guy is an adventure. It truly is. And I owe him thanks for many, many great experiences. I will not drive to Toronto anymore at this point if I don't have to. That's how bad I hate driving to Toronto. So this guy will do it.
Sure, I'm still crazy enough.
He's good at it. He's good at it.
How's the used market in Toronto?
Great.
Well, I was just there.
Okay.
I was just there with my dad, and I texted Mike several times saying you should be in the car. But he was at the cottage. What a slacker. Anyway, it depended on where you went. There are two stores that we hit primarily. The first one is BMV on Bloor Street.
Yes.
And you go down into the basement, and there's all kinds of vinyl, and there's all kinds of CDs. You could spend all afternoon in there.
Plus, they have that 3 for $10 bin in the basement. The 3 for $10.
They've changed it.
What?
They've changed it. It is now $2.99 for everything in the bin. So you can save $1. You're not paying 3 for $10. You're paying 9 for $10.
Plus, if you want to buy 8 CDs, you don't have to look for that 9th.
That's right. Remember how we were always trying to find an extra one to round out 3 for $10? Now we don't have to.
It used to be, I'm going to buy this as a gift for somebody. I'll figure it out later.
Yeah. Or here you go. So BMV was awesome as ever. And I could have spent more time in there. But Sonic Boom, actually, the prices all went up.
Really?
Sonic Boom is on Spadina, just north of Queen in Toronto. It used to be up on Bloor Street as well, so we didn't have to walk as far. And that's the story about the Order of Battle, is that by the end of the trip, Mike's dogs would be barking. And
now I do a lot more walking these days, so I could probably handle it a lot better now.
Oh, okay. I used to drag them all over the place, and it was always one more sand dune to go.
And I was a little bit fatter back then too.
Oh, I think I'm making up for it now. But yeah, but Sonic Boom, I found like they used to have the CDs were predominant on the floor and the vinyls were off to the side, but they still had a lot. Now the vinyls are predominant on the floor and the CDs are under the stairs. And
which used to be where the Blu-rays. That used to be where the Blu-rays were, under the stairs.
Not anymore. And the CDs are like a third of what they used to have.
Where are the Blu-rays?
I didn't even look.
They probably don't have them.
I don't buy too many movies. Yeah. So the ones they used to have like $2.99 and now they're $5.99. And the $5.99s are now $7.99, and the 7s are $9, and the 9s are higher.
I guess you.
So it was a little disappointing. I still found good stuff.
You always do.
But, oh yeah. But yeah, so that's something that I still think could happen. I will happily drive to Toronto anytime. Just let me know. I know the rule.
Someday I'm going to get to Toronto. I always joke with Marco. I said, well, someday I'll come up.
Well, I'll be there for that occasion. I'll tell you that.
Oh, sure.
I've never met Marco in person.
Well, I haven't either.
And I've never met Harrison in person either. But
let's go
for obvious reasons.
Let's go.
I mean, if there are a whole bunch of us get together, maybe I can make the pilgrimage.
You're in Ohio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I could drive up there.
My God, you are in the same state as one of my favorite bands.
Guided by Voices.
I just ordered their new CD today.
Guided by Voices.
Yeah, they're in Dayton.
They are in Dayton, yes, sir. Mr.
Dayton
Robert
for
Pollard
me
and
is
crew.
probably about 45 minutes away.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, it's not like I think that Guided by Voices are just hanging out somewhere.
They're just waiting for you to drop by.
They're waiting for me to come by.
Yes, but you could drive on Needmore Road or Needmore whatever, and you could check out record shops for the stuff that is hard to find. And
in Dayton?
Yeah.
I have not ever went record shopping in Dayton. I have
Really?
went to Half Price Books in Dayton,
Interesting.
but I have not went record. No. Well, my daughter goes to University of Cincinnati, so I go down there and visit her and go to the record stores in Cincinnati, which the record stores in Cincinnati are great.
Well, they could have them there too, because it's local, right? It's like local.
Oh yeah, they would have them.
Oh
I
sure.
bought like used Guided by Voices CDs here. I mean, they're around. Yeah,
Oh sure. I almost got thrown off a bus in Ohio.
Well, that's
random.
something.
Oh no. See, there's a whole story. We were going into the Indianapolis 500. I went to the Indy 500 instead of going to my prom. And we because I don't anyway, it's a whole story. Anyway, but it was the same weekend. So I wanted to go to the race. So we went to the race and we were driving down. We were going through Toledo and I saw a church. And I said, "Hey, look, Holy Toledo." Because how many times are you going to get a chance in your life to say that?
Take
And
it.
the reaction was rather violent, actually. It was yeah. Well, that's okay.
Things you learn by watching Grab a Stack of Rock.
The
Don't
dad
say
jokes
Holy
have been-
Toledo at a church in Toledo.
No. Well, we were just
On a
passing it
bus.
on the highway.
They were
and
driving by. It's fair
No,
game.
we didn't
It's fair
stop.
game.
We were just passing by, and I said, "Hey, look." But
You know, back in the summer in '91, and I've told this story before in many in different variations. My best friend Bob came to spend a week with us right here at the cottage, and one of the things that we did just to kill time, because there wasn't much to do back then, is we used to take a trip to the nuclear power plant and take the trip, and we did a bus tour. And God, if Bob and I weren't heckling the fucking tour guide the whole time. They're talking about how they have a nature preserve on the grounds of the nuclear plant, and they have deer. You might see deer. And then Bob goes, "Oh yeah, there's one right over there. I think it has 2 heads."
yeah.
You know, and it's like we made her life miserable the whole time. We deserve to get kicked off that bus. So help me God.
Hey, can I show you something very cool, a birthday
Yeah.
related?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I can top all the birthday everythings.
Okay.
Take yourself back to 1974.
I can't. I have no
Okay.
memories of 1970. Actually, that one photo, the one photo I showed of me really, really young was from 74. There were
Okay,
two
so that's the year.
I can go back to 74, Aaron.
Okay. This is the internet debut
of
the day I was born.
Ooh.
July 23rd, 1974.
Okay.
I was given Tigger,
No.
and I still have it.
Oh my God, that's
Now,
so cool.
He has no more tail because I teethed it off.
Yep.
And his ears are all rat, but I kept it. I still have him.
Wow.
Yep.
And it's still identifiably Tigger.
Yep. I don't sleep with
Immediately.
it anymore.
Immediately.
If I remember right, I think they used to sell those at Sears.
Could be. My dad went and got it. And it was so, this is the best part. Hold on.
That is cool.
It was so nasty. It was so nasty and ratty. Like it, I even threw it in the river at one point when I was a kid. Because he had to go for a swim.
Of course he did.
But it was so nasty. One time, I don't know, I was maybe 3 or 4. My parents had given up and they were like, if we give him a new one, maybe he'll get rid of the old one. So they gave me this one. That's what he used to look like.
Oh my God. You got
And
2.
You know what happened? I kept them both.
Of course. Now they can be friends.
Yeah. Old and new. So
That's-
this one is probably from about 1977.
I have to do 2 unboxings before we wrap up tonight. If
Oh,
that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, and I got a couple things to show you too. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna do one unboxing, and then you can show me some stuff.
Sure.
And the last one is very, very, very special.
I can be fast.
Okay, so this Jen just picked up today at Walmart, or yesterday, I should say, for $4.50. We don't really know what it is. All I know is it's Kiss the Star Child, and it was $4.50.
I saw that at the dollar store here in my town, and I was gonna buy it for you, and then I thought, he doesn't need that.
Was it Paul? Because she said they
Yeah.
only had Paul. Okay.
Yeah, they only had Paul.
I will say it's heavy. It's heavier than it looks.
Okay.
but
Is it a
here it
bowling pin?
is, and it says it's inflatable, but
Looks like a Weeble.
it does. It's weighted on the bottom. You can see it's weighted.
Mike has a blow up doll.
It has a blow thing on the bottom, and I'm not sure. Like, this doesn't seem like something you can blow up. I'm not sure how this works, but I mean, it's cool just as it is. I can put it down, and it does.
Can you not like knock it over and it comes back up?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you
so it's a
see?
Weeble.
I don't
It's
know
a
what
Weeble.
I don't know what this is for. It doesn't. It seems unnecessary.
It's
I
a
don't know.
kipple.
I
What
like
is it like? Dressed to Kill, Paul Stanley?
Yes, that's Dressed to Kill era Paul Stanley. He's wearing the suit,
Mhm.
and it looks like him.
It
in a
really
weird
does.
way.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? And his arms move. I can do that. Hey, everybody.
That's how he talks.
I tell you something.
His hair's kind of flat, though. I will
His
say
hair is
that.
kind of flat. I don't know what this is for on the back because it seems to be.
Oh, you know what that's for.
Well, I'm going to leave that to your Rob Daniels. He hates unboxings. There you go. So there's my Paul Stanley. That I don't know. It's cool. I'm just going to leave him. He's on my table. He's going back and forth. He's dancing. It's cool.
How many Paul Stanleys do you have now?
God, I don't know, Harrison. Like a few. I have a few Paul Stanleys.
I'm sure your wife knows how many you have.
Well, she kindly brought this home for me, so she can't
I
mind.
gotta say, I'm glad I didn't buy it because
She's an enabler.
Yes.
It was going to end up in the bag of stuff I got here for you, but I'm glad I left it because
No
now you
doubt.
got it. You would have had two.
They could bop back and forth and hit each other.
Well, I can look again, but I think they only had Paul.
Well, I'm suspecting that Paul's the only one that people are going to find. It's just my vibe that I'm getting. Anyway, show us what you got, man. Show us what
Who,
you
me?
got. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tease this first of all.
Okay. Sour Cat Records. So I'm guessing that's a label, a record label.
No, it's
No,
a
it's a
store. here in
store?
town.
Okay.
I'm representing.
Oh.
There's did I ever talk about a band here in town called Cruel Bloom?
If you have, it's escaping my memory.
Okay, they were a screamo, really crazy, kind of along the lines of Dillinger Escape Plan. So really, really heavy and loud and screaming and jagged. And I worked with the guitar player, singer guy, and the bass player is now running Sour Cat Records here in town. He opened it 5 months before COVID hit, and it's still going. So good on him.
Yeah, not easy.
And he said he wakes up every morning to crippling anxiety. Anyway, I went in and I had to get a t-shirt to represent, but the next few posts on the KMA are going to be what I found. I bought a couple of CDs while I was in there.
Okay.
But I also want to show you these because I'm keeping the spirit alive. I have this.
Continental Drift.
Oh, Gord Sinclair.
Yes, sir. That's the
From
new
the Hip.
The new Gord Sinclair from the Tragically Hip. Just come out. Very cool. And I also have this.
Paul Langlois. Okay, I was going to say
Also
I knew Paul had an album out. I didn't know about Gord Sinclair's.
Yes, so there's two. So I'm keeping the hip flame alive.
Have you played them?
Just like 3 or 4 songs from each, and they're very good.
Okay.
I haven't actually focused on them yet, but I had them on.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's the main stuff, but the rest of it is going to be on the KMA starting tomorrow. Ooh, what do you got, Grant?
When I was last in Cincinnati a week ago, Mobile Fidelity, Grateful Dead, got it for $15.
Wow. That's
cool.
a steal.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. CD's made in Japan, and it's got its, lift up case, smooth sided jewel case. There you go, baby. That's what I got.
don't know if it's my internet that's I might be. Am I breaking up? Is there an
No.
internet? No.
You're good.
No.
You're
Okay.
all good.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you guys the creme de la creme, the piece de resistance. I've been waiting for this for a couple of weeks now. I just ordered this from a company in the UK called vinylart.co. And this is something special, as you will see in a moment. I've ordered from them before. Aaron, you will recall I had a custom Evil Kirk 5-inch single
Yes.
printed up. I sent you a copy of that. Evil Kirk by my sister, Dr. Catherine Ladano, featuring me on
It's here
lead
somewhere.
vocals.
Yep. I have a
And,
with all my
Harrison will recall that I printed up a bootleg Max the Axe record for Randy live at the Boathouse. I should be opening this with a knife, but I didn't seem to bring one, so I'm just ripping the cardboard.
Sorry, you're a barbarian. It's
Okay, here we go. Here we go. So this is another special custom designed vinyl that I had ordered from this company in the UK, and this is a pain in the ass. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Okay. So there's one side of it, which is blank.
tease.
Many thanks for your purchase. They give you a little sticker.
Oh, cool.
So that's how you can find them on the internet.
Yeah.
But here is the record itself. This is very special. This is the Grab a Stack of Rock theme song on a record, 7-inch vinyl, as performed by T-Bone Erickson, his very first vinyl.
That's fabulous.
Isn't that neat?
So that's
That
a
was
picture
$60.
disc.
That is a picture disc.
Does T-Bone know about this?
Yes. I was hoping he could join us tonight, but he was unable.
Did he get one?
You know, I only ordered one and I didn't think of that. This was $60.
I was gonna say
That's $60
can't be cheap.
And it's not like it's going to sound better than the digital.
No,
It doesn't. It
not
sounds
a
very
picture disc.
I've bought these before. They are novelty items. They're not for serious play. However, what I want to do is the next time I make a new Grab a Stack of Rock show intro video, I want to have this spinning on the turntable, drop the needle on it, and away we go.
Nice.
That's what I want to do. And there it is.
You could put those in the merch shop.
I could, but for $60, I don't know if anybody's going to buy one.
No one's going to buy it, but it's cool though. I didn't know you could have something like that done.
You
I thought
can.
you would have had a press like, I don't know,
They don't press
a
them.
lot.
They don't press them. They cut them custom each record.
Yep.
So it's a different process. It's basically they print the graphic and then they sandwich that between some plastic and they cut. You remember?
It's not styrene, is it? It's not.
No,
is it vinyl or styrene?
Well, I mean, it feels like plastic, I would say. But you know, back in there's the Evil Kirk one right there. That's a 5-inch. You know,
Size
back
doesn't
in the
matter.
olden days when they used to have like those booths where you could go in and cut a record.
Yeah.
Like on the Flintstones.
They never had those where I grew up.
Do you
But I
remember-
know what you're saying.
You remember the Flintstones episode where Fred Flintstone cut a record and then it ended up becoming a hit? I think it's a more modern version, but a similar concept where it's a custom record that's cut into a sheet of plastic rather than pressed.
You know who has one of those?
No,
Third Man Records.
Jack White, I was going to
Jack
say,
White.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Jack
Neil
White.
Young made a record in there. Willie Nelson made a record in there. There's all kinds of them.
Like, is that a vintage booth that
Yeah.
he has?
Yeah.
Makes
Because
sense.
of course he does.
Yeah, of course he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the Grab a Stack. Now, here's the shitty thing is that I was going to go home and I was going to film this cool graphic of the record spinning. My camera tripod broke today, so I got a new one on order. Anyway, that's it. That's what I had for the show today. That's beautiful.
Oh,
Jeez.
that right?
I had those
Jeez.
guys. Hang on.
Well, we did a short for Contrarians, and Martin was raving about it, and I actually thought it was pretty great. So this is the Rock Candy reissue.
Okay.
So I picked it up. I have just got it. I haven't really listened to it other than.
Do you know about them? Do you know anything about them?
Yeah, they're a Canadian band.
Okay. 'cause
70s.
I have this.
What's that like the best of?
It's an over 60 minutes with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jex was showing off some teas on our Canada Day show, if I'm not mistaken.
There, it's on Aquarius. There you go.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask Grant. That April Wine you were commenting earlier.
Yes, sir.
You said it had some tracks on there
It
that are
does.
non-album tracks.
It's got the long version of I Like to Rock on it.
Oh.
I like to rock.
It's the long version. It's not the album version. It's the album version's edited, but this is the
Really?
whole thing.
Now that's unusual.
Oh, it's the only version to have.
Okay.
And then I think there's a version of it's not the same version that's on Harder Faster, but Brian Greenway song. Oh, I'm going blank. Shit, I can't remember. There's two different songs that aren't, and they're both off Harder Faster. So, but it's the Brian Greenway song on there.
Well, I'm going to be digging in next week, and I'll let you know my feedback. I know Tim's very anxious for me to get into some April Wine. He has an influence on me, that Derling.
Well, that set is, you've got to have it because that's the only place you can get I Like to Rock
The
this
long
way.
version. Okay. Well, obviously that was a good choice to make then.
Tim Derling knows his April Wine.
Who was it? Was that my mom who got me April Wine? I can't even remember from that video. I think it was from my mom.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
I have mail here from Marco. You mentioned him.
Yeah. Do you want to open it? Do you want to
No,
unbox
I mean I've already you
Oh.
already know about. But I was going through looking for that. Oh, it's even signed.
Yeah. Oh, right. I remember this. Yes.
Mystique, signed by the guys. Yeah.
He is really doing well right now with that.
Good.
With that documentary.
Good.
He just screened basically a 90-minute director's cut.
Yep.
And he won. I can't remember the awards that he's won, but he's being recognized, and I'm really happy for him. And he's working on a second film. He is just starting the groundwork for a second film that's going to be more broadly about bands from the Golden Horseshoe area, you know, the Toronto Hamilton Golden Horseshoe. And there's a lot of bands.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's basically, like we were saying earlier, the epicenter.
There's a whole 905 punk movement as well if he really wants to get into it.
I have no idea what he's going to do. He's going to have to actually narrow things down from where he is.
Mm-hmm.
But more power to him. I can't wait to see what he has coming. Yes.
It's Tonight is the track that's off Harder Faster that's remixed. I'm not saying it's remixed, but it's a different. It's a different mix. So you listen to it and you're going, "Oh, I think it might have a different guitar part in it." I'd have to re-listen to it, but you'll listen if you know Harder Faster is a record.
I don't. I don't.
For God's sakes.
I'm going to get there, Grant. I'm starting.
What happened to you?
Oh, God. I was dropped as a child, for one thing.
Hey, you're Canadian. Shouldn't April Wine be flowing through your bloodstream?
See, this is the thing, and it's hard to explain, but I was very focused on specific ways of discovering new music when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was a TV show called the Pepsi Power Hour.
Mm-hmm.
And another one was a magazine called Meat Magazine.
Yeah.
And neither of them really covered
April
April Wine. I basically considered them outside the realm of what I was interested in. I figured they probably weren't metal enough for me. And later on, when I started working at the record store, my best friend at the time and later roommate, Trevor, was like, "Oh, April Wine, they fucking suck." So I was influenced by that. So here I am.
All the more reason.
Well, I suppose you're right. But here I am, age 51, listening to April Wine for the first time. And what is wrong with that? I say,
Did you
dare
not
I
watch
say,
our ranking on Grant's Rock Warehouse?
Sorry, what's that?
Did you not watch the ranking with Tim Derling and everybody on my channel?
I figured, what was the point of me watching it? I don't know these albums.
That's why you watch it.
I suppose I have to now. I'm going to have to buy them in the orders that you suggest. Hopefully, maybe there's some consensus. I doubt it.
Well, Harder, Faster, and Nature of the Beast, that would be a good place to start.
Okay. I think there's Rock Candy reissues of some of these. I'm not sure.
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
They're all, I will tell you this. If you can get the Capitol seat, the original BGO did some reissues.
Oh, I like BGO reissues. I do like BGO reissues.
But if you can get the original the Aquarius CDs are kind of hit and miss.
Okay.
But the Capitol CDs of the classic albums, the classic band period, those sound good. If you can get the Capitol CDs from the USA, but they could.
Or original Canadian pressings would be good too.
Well, not the CDs.
No,
they're kind of shitty.
Okay. Capitol US versions. Okay.
But the BGO's probably okay. I've never heard them because I've got all the other ones. So the uni discs that there are reissues sound pretty good. I wouldn't get the Aquarius ones.
Okay.
Maybe the uni reissues might be better choice.
Unidisc reissues or the original US Capital.
Mhm.
Okay. Locking it in.
But listen to that comp and give
I
it a
will.
chance. I think you'll dig it.
I'm sure I will. I mean, Tim has yet to lead me astray, really.
No, Tim knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I want to start wrapping up, but Harrison, sorry, I haven't given you much time tonight. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
There was really only one or two things I wanted to show off. This isn't new. I've had it for a couple months, but I wasn't able to find a different place, any other place to show it off where it would fit. But you're not going to be able to tell because it's backlit to hell, but this is the lenticular 3D cover.
Is it? And I've never seen
that's
one of
kind of
those.
cool.
I've never seen one in person, no.
Let me see if I can
You
rip it
only have to say the word lenticular and you have my attention.
Same. I'm not sure if you can see.
I'm getting a little bit of the effect.
A little bit.
Yeah. The
There we
TIE
go.
Fighter,
There, go side to side.
When you went like that, it was
There you
yeah.
go.
There you
the
go.
TIE Fighters
It
actually
looks like the
changed.
Emperor and Vader are dancing behind Skywalker, like, the backdrop in a rap video.
it's
You
kinda-
always have those two guys in the
kinda
back of
disturbing.
the main rapper that are kind of doing this.
Look at the stars above the Death Star coming off Luke's saber. They
Yeah,
move.
okay, yeah, at the top of the
that's
saber,
good.
you can see
Yeah.
movement. Yeah.
And look at the TIE Fighters shooting at the Falcon.
Oh, yeah, the lasers. You can
That's the
actually see the
first thing I
laser
saw.
shooting.
God, if I only had some LSD.
Or you could just, watch the movie.
How many times have I said that this week?
Oh,
And
God.
just for the hell of it, to annoy some people, or to include some other people, Mike's already seen pictures of this, but
Oh, yes, your own custom USS Enterprise.
Wow.
Brilliant. You
That's not
designed
bad,
that.
eh?
That's cool. I'm gonna fast forward to this part and show my son. He's a big Lego guy.
Here, Harrison, let's get a little bigger view for his son.
Mhm.
One moment. Solo layout.
And it's on
All
a
right.
little stand too.
Yeah, do it. Do a little spinny 360.
Oh, look at that.
And Harrison's not a Trekkie, so he really kind of didn't know what he was doing here. But that is basically NCC 1701.
Mhm.
No bloody A, B, C, or D, as Scotty once said. And that is a Borg. That is a
resistance
Borg.
is futile.
Check out the Borg.
So you
What
built
the
that.
Heck is
Yeah.
happening. Did you melt his head in the microwave or what?
No, that's just Darth Vader's head
Oh, okay.
from one era. They've done a few different heads for Darth
You
Vader.
could have
This was
heated him up a bit. I don't know.
That is really
Well,
cool.
that did happen to him in one of the movies, but it was the other end.
See?
Mhm.
That
He
was
didn't
cool.
have the high ground.
Those are props that I think are going to be maybe showing up in some of Harrison's future artwork. I have a suspicion. Well,
I'm sure we're gonna make plans for it.
yes. Well, gentlemen, as you know, we always like to go out on a song. Aaron, Robert Daniels does not have that.
Doesn't
The
have that.
Enterprise.
The lenticular. The lenticular.
Oh,
Robert needs that.
Oh,
Great.
cool.
Too soon. Too soon.
Okay. All right. Is it? Is
I
it too
guess.
soon?
I
I
guess.
don't know.
Anyways, guys, as you know, we always like to go out in a song, but since Aaron's here, there's only one song we can go out on.
oh God! You did that last time.
I know, but that was a month ago, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on tomorrow. So
But before we go, let's also just plug Grant's Rock Warehouse real quick. What do you got coming up in the immediate future that these guys can look forward to?
Oh, well, Stephen Schnee and I just did an episode, and DC Toon Time just did an episode on the band The Wonderments that I need to edit. On the Contrarians, we just did Van Halen. Well, and Tim Derling was on the show of this fine record.
I like that record.
Me
I like that
too.
record.
So I need to edit that. That'll probably come out like next week. I don't know. I tell you, Mike, I've got so much
I know.
backlog that I don't know. I'll be editing a couple shows tomorrow to get them out there because I can't keep up.
Well, I think we should end up doing our Helix one live when we do that with Tim.
Yeah, because if we do stuff live, I can do all the pre-production,
And
then what's there is done. I don't have to go back
And we bounce off well live, and we've got so much material. We won't need, it's no issues.
And Tim's used to going live. Well, if we can see, once he rebooted, he was fine tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
We just have him reboot.
For a while there, I thought that he sounded a lot like the aliens from that movie Signs, that M. Night Shyamalan movie. That anyway,
I thought maybe there were rodents chewing.
I was
on
worried.
something.
I was legit worried.
Is that one where the aliens come to Earth
and they're allergic to water?
Yeah, and they land
the
on
substance that 80% of our
water.
Planet is made of. They're allergic to. They came here.
Yeah, like of all the planets.
They didn't go to Mars, where there's like 0.01% water. Anyway, let's go out on a song, gentlemen. This is a song that was made for this man. About this man as a thank you for being a leader of the music community. This is a song called Community by T-Bone Erickson. Grant, thank you so much for joining me.
It was a pleasure.
Harrison, as always, thank you for being here. And Aaron, we'll be in touch about a nice summer visit next month.
Sure, please. Let's do.
Okay.
Yep.
Take care, guys. Have a great night. This is Community by T-Bone Erickson. Bye-bye.
Woo! Good night.
In the fall of 06, somewhere in the sticks of southern Ontario, we planted a seed, had a yearning need we couldn't get from the stereo. Started out as two and it slowly grew into a passionate fraternity. No matter where I roam, it's always home, from here to eternity. It's where we'll thrive with community, and it keeps me alive. Community, it's my community. Community, it's my community. So I said, hey Joe, come on, let's go. I hear adventure, it's a calling me. We're gonna lose control down a rabbit hole in the heart of the big city. We're gonna squash a beetle with a rolling stone and fly the black flag all the way back home. If you eat shit flowers, I ain't got time. Don't matter what we find, it's the glue that binds, you see. It's where we'll thrive with community, and it keeps me alive. Community, it's my community. Community, it's my community. It's where we'll thrive with community, and it keeps me alive. Community, it's our community. Community, community, metal band. Grab a stack of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Grab a stack of rock. Grab a stack of rock.
Welcome, Nighthawks. We've been expecting you. The hour's late, but the party is just getting started. I'm Alistair Kovacs, your host for a sophisticated little soiree with jazz, stimulating conversation, beautiful ladies, more jazz. Look, it's Charlie, sincerely one of the best white non-union jazz pianists in the entire city, top 5. Charlie, play some of those notes you know I like.